the stylus. In 2024, it's something you really don't see in a lot of mainstream phones nowadays, except for one, and that's the S24 Ultra. And while it may be the most well-known mainstream phone in the West that comes with a stylus, it's not the only one. The Moto G Stylus often gets lost in the barrage of Android phones that are released every year and constantly overshadowed by its more expensive counterpart. But is the Moto G Stylus 2024 actually any good? Is it worth a pickup? And is it worth saving yourself over $1,000 for the competition? Well, that's what we're gonna go over today. What's going on, guys? Ty Tech here, back again. And this is my review of the Moto G Stylus 2024. As always, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a future upload. And let me know down in the comments whether or not you guys have picked up the Moto G 2024 on with the video. Now, just for transparency's sake, I did not use the 2023 version of this phone, so I'll only be speaking from the perspective of using the 2024 version. But what do you get for the $350 that this phone is going to cost you? Well, let's start with the front. The Moto G Stylus 2024 comes with a 6.7-inch POLED display with 120 Hz refresh rate with 1200 nits of peak brightness in outdoor settings. So it's not the brightest display that you're going to use in an outdoor setting, but it's perfectly serviceable for doing things like watching YouTube videos or remembering to text your girlfriend back. The bezels are a bit on the slimmer side and the colors are bright and poppy. Genuinely, this is a good display. I have no complaints about the display except for the fingerprint scanner. Yes, the Moto G Stylus 2024 comes with an optical fingerprint scanner, which I will describe as inconsistent at best, so face unlock was very much my preferred biometric method. And I also have no complaints about the back of this phone either, because the vegan leather back that Motorola has really become known for on all of their phones has slowly become a sleeper hit and a favorite of mine, especially with the caramel latte color of this phone. It is just mwah. Gorgeous. Say what you want about Motorola and their vegan leather backs, this design actually makes this phone a whole lot more durable, scratch and dirt resistant, and gives you a tremendous amount of grip when holding it one or two-handed as well. The plastic frame holding this whole phone together also gives your phone quite a bit of grip as well, I have to say. Although it's not the most premium feeling, and the color doesn't pop as well as I thought it would, especially compared to the Scarlet Red variant of this phone, but it does pop very well and beautifully in some lighting conditions. On the sides, of course, you have your volume and power button. On the bottom, you have your USB-C charging port, along with a slot for the Moto Stylus, and a headphone jack. I haven't used a smartphone with a headphone jack in, I think, 6 years. So you know I had to bust out the 3.5s for this one. And that 6.7-inch display, vegan leather back, and plastic frame all rolled together into one makes for a very, very light and comfortable user experience with the Moto G Stylus, especially since this thing only weighs 190 grams, especially mixed with the very fun and bubbly haptics when typing on this display. And all that stuff rolled into one is powered by a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. And that's one of the best things about the Moto G Stylus 2024, in that it is a battery monster. Because even through a day of texting, calling, web browsing, typing the script to this video, watching videos, which picked up great on T-Mobile's 5G service, you'll still get through the entire rest of the day with more than enough battery left over. Of course, that is going to differ with your use cases and your settings. And whenever you need a top off, you have 30-watt wired charging and 15-watt wireless charging at your service. It's with that 5,000 milliamp hour battery that powers your Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 chip, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of worth of storage, and Android 14 right out of the box with the Moto G Stylus 2024. And even though this phone still comes with way too much bloatware and the chip is a bit on the slower side, the Moto skin on Android is still very light and unintrusive, leaving you with a much cleaner user interface to interact with. Though I wouldn't say this phone is for power using per se, it will still lag when playing games for long periods of time or trying to switch between apps more quickly. I don't care how much RAM a phone has, it's not gonna help a 2-year-old chipset though. Classic Moto features are still here, like Chop Chop to open up your flashlight and flick of the wrist to open up your camera. along with multi-volume control, which is becoming a bit of a sleeper feature for me. But therein lies my first problem with the Moto G Stylus 2024. Right out of the box, you guys get Android 14, but you're only gonna get one more Android update to Android 15. So if you're a person that likes to keep your phones for long periods of time, you're not gonna get any of the features that come with Android 16 or Android 17, so on and so forth. But for an entry-level Motorola phone in 2024, that doesn't really surprise me at all. But of course, the best feature about this phone, it's in the fucking name. It's the stylus. And what do I think about it? It's all right. There's a pop-up menu with multiple writing tools and features that you can use the Moto stylus with, which I think is really nice. And I also have to say that I think it's really good that it's on the right side too. Maybe it's just because I'm right-handed, but ejecting the stylus from the right-hand side of this phone was way more comfortable and natural of a motion for me. And once I figured out how to actually properly hold it, writing with it was a much more enjoyable experience, although it wasn't the most precise experience for me. And I think it comes down to the wire mesh that this tip is made with. Maybe if it was more of a finer tip, like the S24 Ultra stylus, it would be much more of a precise experience, especially doing things like writing and drawing. This just feels like I'm writing with a really dull pencil. It's hard to tell when I'm actually starting and stopping when writing, but it did make it a much more enjoyable experience when scrolling through web pages and menus. It kind of gave the Moto G Stylus an old school PDA feeling, even though I never actually used one. So it's not the worst stylus, but if you're looking to use it for drawing and writing, maybe not. And unfortunately, that is not where the bad ends with the Moto G Stylus 2024, because we gotta talk about the cameras. They're bad. On the back, you get a 50 megapixel main camera and a 13 megapixel ultra wide. And on the front, you get a 32 megapixel selfie camera. And what I would say about the photos on the Moto G Stylus 2024 is that they're good as long as you don't look too deep at them. Photos look good at first glance, but when you zoom in, all the detail on them is blurred. The dynamic range seems to be off, especially in portrait mode photos. There seems to be a beautification effect that it puts over photos, whether it's real people or not. And in nighttime or low light situations, it gets even worse as bright lights are overexposed, the darks are underexposed, especially in videos. This phone also lags when switching between lenses. The cameras on the Moto G Stylus are by far the worst things about it, but if you're just trying to take a quick photo of the kids or your pet or the sunset and you don't look too deeper than that, the photos are fine. They're not great, but they're fine. All in all, I would say that the Moto G Stylus 2024 actually isn't a bad pickup for $350. The battery life is superb, the display is bright and beautiful, the cameras are, again, perfectly fine, and the stylus is serviceable, if not perfectly adequate. Along with some classic features, a clean UI, and a beautiful and durable design. All in all, I think I would give the Moto G Stylus 2024 a solid B+. The bloatware needs to be toned down a lot. The chip is a bit on the slower side, and along with a lack of software and security support in the future, there are clear improvements that Moto can make to its stylus lineup to make this a much more compelling buy for someone in the future, like giving the stylus a more fine tip to make drawing and writing a lot more of a precise feeling, or maybe switching out the plastic frame for an aluminum one to give this phone a little bit more of a premium feeling. Boom, it would be an absolute steal for anyone. But as of right now, for $350, I don't think the Moto G Stylus is a bad pickup at all. But guys, that's gonna do it for my review of the Moto G Stylus 2024. If you or anyone you know are looking for a decent entry-level smartphone with superb battery life, a crisp, clear display, a beautiful and durable design, along with some classic Moto features and a perfectly serviceable stylus, I'll leave some shopping links to the Moto G Stylus 2024 in the description below. But as always, guys, the choice is yours. Make your move. But I've been your host, Ty Tech. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now I'll see you guys on the next one. Later. What's going on, guys? Ty Tech here. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video and would like to check out more, go ahead and click on one of my other videos. It should be floating around the screen right now. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.